Hi there, how are you? Welcome back to M Talks. Today we're going to talk about a function which is extremely critical in all walks of life. Whatever you do, this is a function. If you understand this, will help you through any situation or most situations. I'm talking about the sales function. But of late, it has become highly underrated, undervalued, and I'm not going to go into reasons as to why. Nor am I going to define what sales is for you. You will be able to understand once you go through this video. But I'm going to kind of throw some scenarios at you. Imagine a company has got a fabulous product. It's got great uses. The pricing is like brilliant, and the uses for which it can be put to is like amazing. But if they don't have a proper sales setup or a sales process, the whole point is lost. Right? They will not be able to reach it to their customers. So what is the point in having a great product with great utility, great uses, great pricing, and so on and so forth? Forget business. Look at another scenario. When you were young, you wanted to spend some time with, let's say, a weekend with friends, or go hiking, or go sailing, or go to a party. You had to convince your parents to allow you to go, to give you permission, and not just give you permission, but give you some money as well. What you did then was selling. What the CEO of a startup company does when he makes a presentation about his company to prospective investors is selling. Oh, why all that? When you go for an interview, what do? You sell your skills. Or in a company, when you go for a performance appraisal, what do? You sell your contribution. Uh, a politician, when he goes and tries to convince people to vote for him, what does he do? He sells his candidature. So you see, people sell. I mean, forget these are people who are out there, and you might think their job is to sell or to present or position or whatever. What about a research scientist? What about an archaeologist? They also need to convince their own team to go through a certain process for them to be effective. And they also are convincing, or they're selling an idea or selling a process. So you see, at different points in time, wherever you are, whoever you talk to, you are trying to convince them to look at things the way you want them to look at. It could be an idea, a thought, a project, a product, anything. So you see how selling is critical in all walks of life for anything. I mean, you have to convince even for example, your spouse to to do something along with you. You're selling them an idea. Anyway, enough of that. Selling is a skill that is essential, very important, and something that is very easy to acquire. Like any other skill, acquiring a skill is not a challenge. But it is also an attitude. It's a combination of both. You have to have the right attitude and the right skill to be able to push an idea, a project, or a thought, or a concept through to somebody. So you need to have a judicious mix of both. If one doesn't balance the other, then the whole thing is lost. For example, if you don't have the patience to talk to somebody and to convince them, even if you are very skilled, it may not work. Anyway, enough of that. So we're going to talk about some of the skills the salespeople need, and also the attitude. One of the first things that, or most important things, I think, is the capability to listen. The first thing the salesperson has to do is listen. I mean, we look at movies, we look at different approaches, and we see salespeople coming and going, talking nonstop. They're just jabbering on and on and on. So they assume that that's the only thing to do. They have to come, they have to talk, they have to be impressive, and they have to give an entire presentation within a limited amount of time and move on. This is what the assume is selling. No, more important than that is to listen, to understand how the customer is responding to what you're saying. Understand what the customer wants. If, for example, the politician who is trying to get votes, if he doesn't understand his constituency, understand his people, what they want, he's not going to succeed, right? Similarly, a person who is presenting a project or a product to somebody, if he doesn't understand the customer's needs, then he's going to fail. So listening is a very important thing. The most important thing is today a lot of evolution has happened with respect to a lot of services, a lot of products. So we end up talking jargon to customers. We end up saying, this is an LED TV, LCD TV, this is 4K technology, this is that, this is nanotechnology. But end of the day, what matters is to break it down, keep it simple, and talk about what it means to them. If you're talking about LCD or an LED, what benefit would they get? It means better quality, ease of use. I mean, as in ease of viewing, I mean, doesn't strain the eye. So this is what actually has to go across the benefit of what you're talking about, not the technical aspects so much. For that, you need to be able to understand the product and what it delivers to the customer very well. Third thing is patience. When you're talking, there will be objections. People will say, no, but I saw this product, this is fine. I mean, this is better, it's cheaper, and so on and so forth. There should be a certain amount of patience involved in the presentation or during the conversation for you to be able to handle objections. Because if you were to just give up and say, okay, fine, he's not going to buy from me because he saw something which is cheaper, something which he feels is better, and you walk away, finished, done. The sale is lost. Fourth thing is you must endeavor to build a relationship. Most often than not, salespeople think once they make the sale, that's it, forget it. The customer interaction is over, and then they move on to the next customer because it's understandable because the salespeople are under pressure. There are targets every month. There's so much pressure, so they just don't have time to build a relationship with the customer. But believe me, it's extremely important. You can create brand ambassadors. See, one of the most challenging thing in a sales job is to be able to generate leads and leads which are already half sold for you. So you should be able to create ambassadors for yourself. So you have a customer who is already convinced, who has bought from you. So all it takes is a phone call once in a while to say, hi sir, how are you doing? How's the product doing? Or how's the service? Are you enjoying yourself? How's family? You know what will happen? Next time when he comes across a friend or somebody and they want to buy something similar, he will tell them, hey, you know what? I know this great guy. Talk to him. Even if you don't buy from him, talk to him. He'll be able to help you. So you see, you'll create ambassadors for yourself and you will get leads and inquiries where most of the convincing has been done by your customer already. This is called word of mouth selling, which is the best or the most successful form. So try and build relationships, even if they are short ones, even if it is a hi, hello, how are you doing kind of a thing. Try and build relationships. Last but not the least, please be honest. You know, like I said, there is a lot of pressure. You have to complete a sale. So sometimes we tend to overcome it. Or sometimes we tend to say things or half truths or things that may not be possible. For example, if the customer needs delivery the next day and you know it's not possible, please be honest about it. Please say, sir, I understand you need it tomorrow, but I don't think I'll be able to give it. If there is somebody who is capable of delivering it for you tomorrow, please go ahead. In fact, I have life situations in my own life where it has worked for me. It was a funny situation where I had to buy a bike because I was traveling by public transport. So I could meet so many customers, I could meet targets. But that particular month, that particular customer, if I close the deal, then I will get an incentive which would have helped me put the upfront money for to buy a bike. So I was desperate for the sale, but this gentleman, he wanted the product the next day, and I knew it's not possible for us to deliver it the next day. So I told him, I said, sir, I need this business desperately because I want to buy a bike because I'm traveling by public transport. I can't meet so many people, so it's becoming very difficult for me. But I'm not going to lie to you; it's not possible for us to deliver it to you tomorrow. So, but do appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Would you believe it? When I went back to the office, I already had a call from them saying, no problem, I'll buy from you. It's okay if it gets delayed by a day or two. I appreciate your honesty. See, people appreciate that. People remember that when you're honest and you are, straightforward about whatever you have to say, it's always something that people appreciate. Keep that in mind. Of course, there is a lot of other things involved in terms of skill from a sales perspective, a lot of concepts which I would share with you in further videos. This has already gone long enough, so I'm going to stop here, at the risk of becoming too boring or too long. Okay. However, thank you for listening in to me. Till we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye for now.